guys, how's it going? Today we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to harvest some of the potatoes that we plant out in the cut flower garden. I think that they are ready. Most of them are ready. And we're also going to install a brand new Hoselink retractable hose. We've got several Hoselinks around our property, I think 5 or 6, and they've been a bit of a game changer for us. So they're basically 82 feet of 1/2-inch hose that's retractable. You don't have to coil it up yourself, which is awesome. So the new thing about this one, and we're actually partnering on today's video with Hoselink, and we're giving 2 away. But the new thing about this one is that the little pod that covers the hose is charcoal rather than tan, which I really like. I'm looking forward to having that because it kind of like disappears into the garden more than a lighter color. So I've got the Hoselink right here in the box, haven't even opened it yet. This is where we're going to be installing it. This used to be flower bed. It's going to still be flower bed, but we had a faucet installed here, so that's brand new. This is where the new flower bed / lawn's going to be, and we thought it might be handy to have a hose right here. But would you mind holding the camera for a second, and I will show how this works. So this is the original Hoselink we installed, the first one we installed here at our house inside our greenhouse. So you can install them up against a wall or on we've done 4x4 posts. We're going to install this one today on a metal pipe. But basically how you use it is you just pull it out however long you want it. And then you use it, and then when you're done, check this out, you just give it a slight tug. And it coils up by itself. It's so awesome because it saves having to fight with the hose, and it keeps it nice and tidy, and it also swivels so you can kind of hide it a little bit. Anyway, let's go back up front. Okay, before we start the installation, I'm going to open this up so we can see the color. Ooh, look at that. Actually, let's not take it all the way out of the box so we don't lose any pieces or anything, but that is the color right there. I think that will recede into the garden so much better. It's kind of like having gray hoses versus bright green or bright blue hoses. You just don't see them as much, and I don't want to see my watering equipment. I want to see the plants. Okay, so this is a 1-inch metal pipe. We're going to be digging a hole 18 inches in the ground and sinking this 18 inches in some concrete. So that's the part we're going to do today because we have to let that concrete set, and then we're going to come back tomorrow to install the actual reel. But we've got the big auger out here. So let's just get this part done. Not quite. We made a mark 18 inches up from the bottom, and then we have it 20 inches from that mark up to the top. So I've just been putting it down in the hole to test whether or not we are there yet. And I think we're getting close. I think that's about right, Aaron.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm amazed that you didn't run into any big tree roots. I mean, we are that close to a big tree. See that right there? It's crazy. I gotta get the dirt away from the hole, right?
Oh yeah, just brush it away.
Okay, I can brush the dirt away. That bag weighs 92 pounds. Can you do it? Oh, hey, look, there's the floor. Come on.
That's good. Let's start mixing it.
Yeah, Benjamin, get on the other side, please. Oh, sorry. Looks pretty good to me. Here, sweetie. Come by me.
Getting all mud in there.
Mm-hmm. There we go. We've got the pipe in the ground, surrounded by concrete. It is level currently. We will be checking on it several times over the next little bit until the concrete sets up. And however you decide to install it, you just want to make sure it's done securely because you do put quite a bit of pressure on them when you're pulling the hose out. But the one nice thing about putting it on a pipe as opposed to like a post out here, because like our hose faucet is on a post. See? hose is on a post. We could install it right here, but because we're putting on a pipe, we can spin that Hoselink 360 degrees, as opposed to if it's on a post, you could only go 180. So it's a little bit limiting that way. Now, Hoselink is based out of Australia, and they do sell the metal rod to install the Hoselinks, but not in the US. So anyway, you can go get a 1-inch diameter metal pipe like we did to install it. Okay, so we will be back here probably tomorrow to finish up the Hoselink installation. For now, I'm gonna head out to the cut flower garden and get some potatoes dug up. So here are the potatoes. 60-foot rows. There's 4 rows actually in here. Potatoes are one of those crops that are just super fun to grow. You never really know what you're gonna get until you start to dig them up, which makes it kind of like a treasure hunt, but that can also make it a little hard to know when it's time to dig them up. There are 3 things you can do though, or 3 things you can look for that will help you determine if they are ready. First thing is knowing what variety of potato you have and what the maturity date is on that potato. So like the first section here, they're dark red Norlands. They're a short day potato, 70 to 75 day, and they've been in the ground longer than that. So I know that those are ready to come out. Second, you can watch for the plants to flower. They produce these little purple or white flowers. When they start producing flowers, you know that they're actively producing tubers at that time. So you can pull the whole plant at that point if you want. Typically people leave them in the ground longer to allow the tubers to form up a bigger size. So it's just kind of a good indicator to watch for, because you usually want to wait 2 to 4 weeks after they are done blooming, and then you know they're ready to harvest. You can actually, when they're blooming, reach your fingers underneath the plant in the soil and start harvesting small potatoes out if you want to, just a little bit at a time as you want to eat them. And the third thing you can look for, which is what I typically look for, is what the plant itself looks like. When it starts to yellow and brown and starts flopping over and looking really poorly, I know the potato plant's just about done. The tubers are probably sized up just about how big I need them to be, and that's the time we dig them. So like in our case here, dark red Norlands, you can see the plants are kind of laying over a little bit. I mean, technically I could leave them in the ground a little bit longer. We will dig them though and see what they're looking like. Huckleberry Golds are the next variety. They start right here. They are also starting to kind of just look sad. Not flopped over yet though. So those could form up a little bit more as well. But then when we move beyond that, what is this next variety? This one is German butterballs. And these plants look really good still. We can still leave these in the ground for probably a couple weeks and get some nice big potatoes. I'm actually even seeing some blooms still on these. Look at that. Got some nice white blooms. So those aren't quite ready yet. As we move down the line here, what do we got? Russet Burbank. These I'm going to probably leave in the ground as well. They're starting to flop a bit, but the plants themselves look really good. And then we've got Yukon Golds down here, which this one's kind of like in the middle of the road. We'll see how far we get today. We may or may not dig these. I've already dug up a couple plants and we've been eating them a little bit. I think I've maybe dug up between 5 and 10 pounds so far, just to cook fresh in the kitchen. Benjamin, are you gonna help me dig some potatoes? All right, I've got my digging fork and I've got crates. I think that's what we're gonna put them in. Okay, let's see what we've got underneath the first plant here. First plant. That is promising right there. There are a few tiny ones left, so if I was to leave the plants in the ground a little bit longer, then those would size up a little bit more. And I'm always paranoid that I'm going to accidentally leave potatoes in the ground. No potato left behind. All right guys, so I'm just going to finish digging up the dark red Norlands and we'll see what I end up with. So there's the dark red Norlands. We've got to lay them out to dry and then we'll kind of knock some of the soil off of them. But that's a real pretty potato, isn't it? Look at that. Some of them were a little odd shaped, only a couple. And there were a few like real big ones, which dark red Norlands are typically on the smaller side. And the ones that are real small, like this right here, I usually just set all of those aside and use those as baby potatoes, just cook them whole with the skin and all. So we'll take these and get a weight on them in a second, but I want to go check on the Huckleberry Golds. So there's my leavings right there. There's how much of a row I harvested. The next variety is Huckleberry Golds. which I might just leave in the ground for the time being. Oh, isn't that a pretty potato? Purple skin with yellow flesh. I hate that word, but that's what it is. So here's what we got from a couple plants. Pretty good. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and let these sit in the ground for just a little while longer. See, the plants are starting to crisp up a bit, but they're still standing up fairly straight. So I'm gonna wait until they're flopped over just a little bit more, and that way more of them will look like this rather than like this. And we can eat these now. It's fun. I weighed all of the potatoes, subtracted the amount that the crate weighs, and we came up with 62.4 pounds of dark red Norlands. There's a few in this crate too, and 6.7 pounds of Huckleberry Golds from the first 2 plants. Pretty good so far. Super happy with it. I did separate all of them and put them in a single layer. I'm gonna leave them out. I'm just gonna put them in the back on the floor with burlap sacks over them so that they're shrouded from any light. That's super important. You can't leave them out in the light, but I wanna let them dry for a couple days so that I can clean off all the soil. If I would have remembered to shut the water off to those rows a day or 2 ago, that probably would have been better, but it's not really a huge deal. It just makes them a little bit more work to clean up. One thing to note, especially if you're gonna store them, see how I'm like rubbing my thumb on this potato, and I'm rubbing hard, you guys, like, ugh. See, the skin is nice and firm. It doesn't rub off at all. This is a perfect potato for storage. As opposed to, let's see this one. Oh, yep. See, if I rub my thumb on that, like I can just tell by looking now. The skin rubs right off of it. That just means this is more of a new potato is what they're called. They just haven't aged as much and they're not as great for storage. So you do want to go through this type first. Eat this type first, save these as long as you can. I'll let them dry for a couple of days and then I'll wipe off just the really big chunks of excess soil. I'll leave some soil clinging to the potatoes. I think that actually helps with their storage quality, to be honest, just to leave a little bit of soil so long as it's not wet. That's the whole point of getting them in a single layer, letting them sit out kind of in normal temperatures so that they can dry quickly. Once I know they're dry, I'll inspect every potato and I will I kind of organize them at that point, and I put all the good storage ones with the good skin off to one side. I put all the new potatoes in another basket, and then all the really small ones together so that I can easily grab what I need to cook and I know which order I need to cook them in. But they will go in the root cellar after that point, and I will keep the cellar probably at this point. I'm not gonna make it go all the way down to 40 degrees yet, because that air conditioner is going to have to work real hard to keep it down that cool. So I'll probably keep it at about 55. It's set at 60 right now. And I've got artichokes and cabbage and cucumbers and zucchini, all my excesses in there right now. And they're keeping okay. I think that they would keep better if I made it a little cooler too. But 40 to 55 degrees is where you want to keep your potatoes out of light, but you want them in a container that's got good airflow. So that's very important. Anyway, we've done videos on potato planting and harvest and storage. We'll link those down below in the description if you want to learn more. And we will be back tomorrow to finish up the Hoselink installation. It is the next day. I have the Hoselink out of the box. The pipe is set and I don't think it's going to go anywhere. All you have to do to install it is that. Well, minus digging the hole and setting the pipe in concrete and cutting the pipe. Which I do think we're going to cut the pipe again to make it a little shorter. I kind of wanted to err on having it a little taller, and then we'd have some room to play. Once we have plants around it in this area too, I don't think it'll show up as much, but it doesn't show up as much as the cream colored ones. However, I mean, I like the use of these so much that the cream color hasn't bothered me at all because they've been so nice, but having it charcoal is great. So this is our lead hose right here, and it's got a quick connect on the end. So the benefit of that, one side goes here on the faucet, and then the other side is hooked to our hose, so you can connect this together very easily. So let's say you want to fill up a bucket. Well, instead of having to unthread the whole thing, you can just do that, fill up your bucket, and then it's easy and quick to set it back up. I love quick connects for that purpose. The other stuff that comes in the box, you have a sprayer right here that's got several different settings. So you've got shower, flat, mist, vertical, and so forth. There's another quick connect, half of it. The other half's on the end of the hose. And there's also a mounting bracket. Is that what you call it, a bracket, mounting bracket? Anyway, so it's got all the hardware too that you need. So you can mount it to a wall. We've mounted them to 4x4 posts. You can see that they're a little bit bigger than a 4x4 post, so a 4x6 might be more appropriate. However, we haven't had any issues putting them on a 4x4 post up to this point. So you just attach it with your hardware on the bottom and the top, and then you just insert your Hoselink there, and it will swivel 180 rather than 360 like a pipe. So anyway, that all comes in the box. So we're gonna hang on to this just in case we decide to remove the pipe for some reason. It'll be nice to have this in the wings. And then you'll see that the quick connect on this one looks a little bit different than the one on the faucet end. And this one has a thumb valve. So if that's off, this is on. So let's say you have your hose strung out and you've been using your hose sprayer like this, but then you want to put a sprinkler on the end. So you can turn your water flow off instead of going all the way back to the faucet. Take this off, put your sprinkler on, given that your sprinkler has one of these quick connects. So you could actually use that one. You know, if you never want to like unhook it from your faucet, you can use that quick connect on a sprinkler. And then you can put your sprinkler on, set it where you want it, and turn it back on. So let's extend this one out a little bit. There it is. Whoa, I gotta tighten it up first. Always tighten everything after you get it out of the box. There we go. Okay. That's 82 feet right there. So then we tug on it slightly. And walk it back in. So you don't want to tug on it and let it coil itself back in without you holding on to it, because it moves with a lot of speed. And so this can come back and it can crack your covering right here, so you just want to be careful about that, but no coiling, which is awesome. So anyway, that's pretty much it for today's video. Super happy to be partnering with Hoselink. It's been such a game changer to have these retractable reels around the house, and I feel like they would work for 99% of home gardeners. I mean, if you're the type of person that needs 200 feet of 3/4 inch hose, then this may not work for you. And I do not envy you lugging that huge heavy hose around, but I think for most people this would work really well. And we use ours a lot. A lot of ours get used multiple times a day all the way throughout the year. So in terms of longevity, we've had the one in the greenhouse. This is its 4th season that we're using it, and we do use that one year round. The greenhouse isn't heated, but it doesn't quite freeze in there, so we keep ours hooked up in there, but the other ones around the property we do take into the barn for winter storage. So that will help the life of your Hoselink for sure. But so far we've been really pleased. So in terms of the giveaway, we just heard from Hoselink this morning, and they want to give 2 away, and we are going to give 2 away. So that's 4 total. It's super easy to enter. We will be choosing 2 winners from the comment section below this video on YouTube only. So our YouTube channel is Garden Answer with a little gray check mark next to it. We are the only account that looks like that. There are scammer accounts of our channel on YouTube now as well, not just Facebook. So just be mindful of that. The only thing we'll ever ask for is an email, or a shipping address rather, and possibly a phone number. And then there will be a link in the description of this video to Hoselink. So just follow that link, go to their website, and then you can enter there as well, and they will be giving 2 away. I think you'll roughly have like 10 to 14 days to enter this giveaway. All the details will be in the description box below. I'm just not sure. It depends on when this video goes out and when we will be able to post the winners in our recap video on our highlights channel is usually where we announce the winners for that. So anyway, all the information will be in the description in case I just completely confused you. I tend to do that on occasion. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Super happy to have the Hoselink, super happy with the potato harvest. We still have a lot of potatoes to harvest out there, a lot. So you might be seeing more of that later on. Hope you guys are having a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.